G'day, it's Joel Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of his fight tomorrow at Demolition, I'm talking to Mr. Loni Filimoehala. First off, Loni, I thank you very much for the time, especially it being so close to the fight. I do appreciate it. Weigh-ins have been done. How are we feeling?
I feel pretty good. The weight cut was easy, but weight cut's still shit, so it's always good to have water, have lollies, and have fruits. It's good.
What is kind of the go-to food for after? How do you rehydrate?
It depends how much I lose. If I lose, like, I don't know, 5 kilos, I'll have like 5 liters or something like that. So I don't really have to lose much, so I just enjoy myself now.
And I know, as I mentioned, that the fight is tomorrow, but if we can rewind a little bit, how did this fight come your way? It's a weird kind of in-between where it's kind of short notice, but not like uber short notice. So how did this fight kind of come across you?
I feel like I've been training like for a long time for a fight coming up. I injured myself at the end of last year, so I've been in the gym while injured training and while getting my body back to where I can train with the boys properly. I've just made sure I've been in the gym all the time. So we knew that as soon as my body is fit and able to start fighting, we're going to pump out heaps of fights. So getting into that last fight, we had already been talking about, what could be down the line. And, this guy was one of those guys.
That rate, you mentioned there, you literally said the phrase, like, we knew once I got ready, I could start pumping out fights. Not to look too far ahead in the future, but what kind of schedule do you want to keep? Is this kind of rap or fights right after each other something you want to do?
Yeah. Well, back when I've had, like, my other previous title fights, I've, made the plan of next year, I do, like, say if I had a tournament, want to do a tournament, and then stay active as a pro. I've been saying that for years, but this injury, the last 2 injuries have held me back a bit. So coming back to it, I feel like I'm getting older, so times like now, So obviously just train hard, focus on the boys, and our training partners and train together, and yeah, it's been helping me a lot.
You're fighting Eoin Coughlan. I spoke to him before the fight. He talked about, from his side, how this kind of came to be. He was the guy who wasn't really looking to go pro. It just, he kind of ran out of options and had to go pro. How did his name come by you, and what do you make of him as an opponent?
Well, he was an option ages ago. I've seen him ages ago because he fought my friend Tama. So I knew his name. But when we got this name pulled up, I just looked more into it, and yeah. I don't know, a lot of fights pose a lot of problems, but I feel like someone like this guy, I've seen really good grapplers as well, I've been to Worlds as well. Like he said, he's been to the Worlds. I've been to the Worlds as well. I honestly believe if MMA was in the Olympics, I would also be an Olympian as well. So obviously it's not in the Olympics, so I can't really say that, so whatever. But me being able to fight against the best guys in the world at martial arts, not at wrestling or anything else, kind of gives me a lot more confidence, approaching someone like this,
I find it interesting, and you touch on it there. You're an accomplished guy. You're a guy who had, not only in pros, but, at amateurs, winning titles and stuff. He's a man who's coming in previous Olympian previously at the Olympics. The balance of, like, this guy's an Olympian, that's legit, but you can't put too much on that. You can't get too much in your head that this guy has been to the Olympics. How do you kind of balance that?
Well, he didn't win the Olympic gold medal or the bronze or the silver medal, so it's not like he's the best judo person in the whole world or ever in existence. I was at the Worlds too, and there were some people at the Worlds that probably shouldn't have been there. Not saying he shouldn't have been there, but what I'm saying is, like, the Olympics too, I know you got to qualify, so I understand that process of it. But I honestly believe if MMA was in the Olympics, then I would have qualified and I would be there too. And at the Worlds, I didn't win my fight, but I felt how I felt with the world best guys there. I didn't feel I was way out of my depth with those guys. Yeah.
I'm talking to you. This will be your second pro fight. A man who, as I mentioned, while the amateur career was solid, pro can be a whole completely different thing. Want to know at the moment, what are your goals as a professional mixed martial artist?
Well, I want to go to the UFC, become UFC champion, and be the greatest fighter of all time. So, for my mind, like when I play these video games, right, the game of to finish the game, go to UFC, win the belt, win the second belt. That's what you do when you finish the game. And when you finish the game, you got to do bonus shit, So whatever that could be. But my plan is to get this fight done, Hopefully, I'm healthy. But I'm not sure if we're gonna end the pro this year like that. But next year, if I can get a couple pro fights in straight away, then I can just, you know, build my record up so I can start fighting top guys and prove that I am the best in the country. Then yeah.
And now, if I may say, you are an intimidating man. Just in general, and at the weigh-ins, there was I don't want to say it got a bit heated because it wasn't too intense, but also just in general, you're a very intense man. I've heard stories of the amateur days of some of the hecticness that happens. What is the attitude towards fighting? What is like you an emotional fighter? Are you like how do you approach it?
Sometimes, cause I'm like if you talk to my friends, like if you're my friend, you know you're my friend. If you're not my friend, then you know that I fucking hate you. But my boys, I'm nice as to them, and I love my bros like they're my brothers. You know, all my teammates, they're my bros. All the girls, they're my teammates. So I really love those people as well. But when it comes to fight, sometimes I've been too nice in the fight. Like I've respected them too much. Oh yeah, and they're respectful. Yeah, yeah. And then like feels a bit weird, and then they fucking kick me in the face. Like straight away, you know. So it feels like they're lying to me. You know, we're lying to each other, being friendly, and then you're gonna fucking start swinging on me. You know, I feel like at least I'm being a bit more honest. You know, I'm just, you know, like when Wayne said no face-offs, I'm like, no, don't get in their face. I'm like, fuck, I'm fighting this cunt tomorrow. I'm getting his fucking face, bro. But yeah, it only got a bit intense because he fucked my last name up. That's it. But it's not that big of a deal now. But at the time, it just pissed me off. Just fucking felt embarrassed. But all my Waynes are gonna be like that because they're cool.
Talking about names, I did want to bring that up. Obviously, that happened at the weigh-ins. Earlier in the week, I mispronounced your name in an interview. I do apologize for that. I said Loni. It's not Loni. It's Loni. But I want to talk. I want to talk about names, and I want to talk about heritage. And we kind of touched on it before. In between the weigh-ins and now, we were talking about it kind of absent-mindedly. But repping that last name and repping the family, kind of what does that mean to you?
To be honest, it means everything to me. Like in Tongan culture, like a lot of people's last names is like fuck their last names. I know it was a big long last name, but you know I've been fighting for a bit. It's not like it's my first fight. I've had like fucking how many amateur fights? They've always pronounced my name properly, and yeah, it means a lot when my name's Filimoehala and they say Filimoehala. It sounds a bit weird. It makes me feel like I don't know, especially when I'm up there flexing and then someone's like fucking my last name up. It's like fuck, I'm acting hard, but I feel like I'm getting picked on almost. But he's not obviously not doing it on purpose. But yeah, repping my family's last name, very proud. My family are very proud of me. Yeah, we're very proud of our last name.
And if I can ask, on the Instagram page, there are two names that kind of sit in your bio. I was wondering if you could kind of talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, the first one on there, my brother Jake Doyle, Jake Dean Doyle, Filimoehala. He's my brother. I have like a lot of siblings. I have 13 siblings. Well, I'm one of 13. But yeah, he's my only full blood sibling. We're the same mum, same dad. I still see all my siblings as full siblings to me, but like biologically, he is my full sibling. And he was disabled. He passed away. He had a disease called Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. So I grew up as like a carer for him with my mom, just my mom and me and my sister looking after him. My other brother, he passed away as well. He's my other brother, my dad's other son. His name is Viliami. Viliami Muru Tiutau Filimoehala. He passed away in a car crash a couple of years ago. He was an up-and-coming rugby player, very athletic. Just like the rest of my family members, we're all very athletic and we're very proud about it. Even my sister, she's actually plays for, she plays on the Tongan team and she's in the NRL as well. So we're a very athletic family. So obviously, as Filimoehala, we're very proud of our last name and what that means is just to rep it in front of other people. You know, we love Tonga. Tongans love Tongans. So yeah.
As someone myself, I am an only child. So the concept of having 12 siblings, being one of 13, is crazy.
I didn't grow up with them though. So I grew up with my sister and my brother. So my sister Caitlin and my brother Jake. I met my other siblings later because my dad has a lot of kids. My mom has 3 kids. My dad has 13 children. Yeah.
Did you know about the other? What is that? The other 9 or 10?
Yeah, I knew about them, but I didn't grow up with my dad like that. I met my dad when I was 18, and then I got to meet my other siblings. But I did know about them. So my mom, she's a twin as well. So I grew up with my mom, and her twin sister also married a Tongan. So I grew up with Tongans the whole time. But I didn't really get to explore the Filimoehala side of my family until I was 18, and I got to meet my dad. Well, my dad's a bit of a black sheep of the family, so he kind of doesn't really go to family events, but I'll go now, instead. Haven't been as often because I've been training, but when I do go, they treat me like they've known me forever, and yeah.
How is that to hit 18 and then all of a sudden they're like, wow, a whole new family just got unlocked. There's so many now people here. Like, what was that like?
It was a bit different at first because my dad's such like a black sheep of the family where he'll just be like by himself. Like he's in New Zealand by himself, but all of his siblings are in Sydney and Brisbane, so they didn't even know where I was. So it was kind of just my dad just fucking can't get a hold of the counter, and But when they found that, oh fuck, we live in Brisbane, but the same, I started going to birthday events and all that shit, and they I didn't know how they would treat me, but they treat me like they've known me since I was a baby. But it's also because I'm named after my dad too. His name's also Loni Filimoehala. So when old mate fucks that up, he fucks my dad's last name up. My whole dad and my whole family's name. So yeah, it's alright now. I fucking got the message across. Don't fuck my name up, but it's alright.
What do you think it is about your family that produces so many high-level athletes?
I just think it's just I don't know. A lot of Tongans are just very athletic. My dad in particular he's not like a big gigantic Tongan guy, but he's he's shorter than me, a little bit lighter than me, or same color, but he's very explosive. So a lot of my siblings are very fast and just very explosive athletes, and I think that's just his genetic part of it. Some Tongans get just max strength, some of them get just max speed, but my dad got the explosiveness. So that's where I feel I get my power from. I do rep my Aussie side very proud too, but I feel like I'm physically very Tongan,
Not that it's not great to see you fight in MMA, and the MMA scene is happy to have you, but did you ever consider going down the rugby path? What was it about MMA that made you want to do that?
I definitely wanted to do rugby. I was playing rugby my whole life. Oh, my whole life. I was pretty good as a rugby player up until under 14s because I was a forward, and because I didn't know. I remember my dad when I was 18, right? So I thought my mom told me my dad was gonna be was 6'4", but I told you he's shorter than me, and I ain't 6'4". So I expected me to be like a fucking big forward. So when I hit 14, and I wasn't a good forward, and they tried to put me in the backs, I was thinking, fuck that, I ain't playing anymore. That's gay. But if I kind of knew a bit more that all my siblings are all backs, and that's where they excelled more. They weren't actually forwards, That's like a big guy thing. And if I knew that, I probably would have embraced that a bit more and tried to play. But I've always been interested in fighting, At school, you hear about fucking this kind, and you just think, holy shit, you got the video on your phone? Fucking Bluetooth me the phone and Bluetooth me the video, and I'll be watching these school fights all the time on my phone. I don't I got in heaps of them. I just really I was interested in who was fucking winning. He was the strongest kid in school. Now it's me. So.
I know I asked you earlier what the goal is, and you said, become that world champion status. But is part of it to be the strongest guy?
I already am the strongest guy. But, yeah, I already am the strongest guy. And I feel people low-key might know it, but they're going to find out soon, especially when I smash this fucking middleweight.
Loni, I thank you so much for the time. It's absolutely a pleasure to speak to you. Best of luck in the fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.